Hello everyone, this is Gemini Jets 1975 coming at you with number 9 in the Liveries and Aircraft series, this time on Northwest Airlines. Trivia question for this video would be, what was Northwest Airlines called prior to the merger with Republic in 1986? Again, what was Northwest Airlines called prior to the merger with Republic in 1986? Alright guys, let's get started with this video. In order to not give away the answer, we will start with Republic. And since this is a major component of Northwest Airlines, then we will start with Republic. Alright guys, as typical with your early Boeing products, you've got eyebrow windows, and then with the Republic livery you've got kind of a teal color and then a blue cheat line around it that starts kind of at the nose and works its way back. And then of course your Republic colors. This was not the only Republic livery, by the way. This is probably I don't remember if this is the middle one or the first, but it's definitely my favorite. So you got Republic titles, and then your teal and blue cheat lines go all the way down the aircraft, and then your registration number, and then all the way down to the engine, and then your goose, the flying goose on the tail with the circle around it. This was also, I want to say, it was either, I think North Central was also, this was also a primary part of their livery, because it was North Central and, oh gosh, I can't remember the other airlines. There were about 3 airlines. Oh, Southern Airways, North Central. The Southern Airways contributed the Memphis hub, and North Central contributed the Detroit hub to merge to create Republic, and then shortly thereafter Hughes Air West. Okay, so, oh, and then on the bottom, guys, don't want to forget that, it's pretty much white, nothing real special. Alright, well, after the Republic merger, Northwest became the airline's name. So this right here was the livery that was before was basically the same as this, but the complete name was on the fuselage, and then you also had the red tail. So quite a few hints there for those of you Northwest fans out there. Let's see here. Now on the DC-9, which was the primary component of the Northwest fleet, they got a whole bunch of these from Republic, and Republic got a whole bunch from Southern and North Central. So it was a primary component of Northwest fleet all the way up to the very end. So you've got your massive eyebrow windows there, and then on the side you've got your gray stripe on the bottom right there, and then your gray stripe on top, and then you got the Northwest title, and then your logo, and then you got the blue cheat line that covers the windows. So the blue cheat line along with the gray stripes kind of go all the way down the plane, and you come up to the very end, or the blue goes all the way back to the tail cone, and then the gray kind of goes back to the tail, and then you got your red tail. There was also, I want to say, at some point this was modified a little bit, and the little N with the circle around it was also added to the tail at some point, if I remember right, but I could be wrong on that. So this was basically their post-Republic merger livery. And then, I would say late 80s, they came out with what some people called the bowling shoe livery. And that's what this is right here. So you have the front of the plane, of course, your windshield wipers. You have the dark gray with this blue cheat line, and then the red top. Okay, and then your American flag, which went kind of towards the bottom of the plane, near the front, the L1 boarding door. There's your Northwest logo, or title rather. And then that striping and banding goes all the way down the plane. And when you get finally to the tail cone, one moment. When you finally get to the tail cone, you've got the blue that goes all the way down, the gray goes all the way to the end, and then your red, and then the red tail, and then there's your N and kind of a little bit of a W with a circle around it. That was on the tail for this livery. Okay, so you have the 757 for that. Now the 757, I believe they were inherited from Republic. So the really, really old 757s that Delta has now that they're getting rid of are primarily those 757s. I believe they call them the 5000 series. 5 or 6000. And then some of Delta's very oldest, if they haven't gotten rid of those already. But that's primarily where those 757s are coming from. And then right here, the DC-10, used primarily on transatlantic services. During the early 90s, Northwest kind of had a little hub in Boston, and they had a bunch of transatlantic flights. And then they also had a little mini hub in Taipei that they take that back. They had a mini hub in Seoul, Korea, which they operated alongside of Tokyo. That was rather interesting. But anyway, on the DC-10 here, it's basically the same as the 757. And on this particular one, because this one I believe came out after they joined SkyTeam. So you got the SkyTeam logo, your American flag, just like on the 757. Then you come back to the tail, and then the bottom is rather boring. And then, of course, our favorite, the 747 right here. Zoom back out here. Unfortunately, I do not have an example of their final livery. Never really got terribly excited about it, but compared to this one, it's not so bad. Let me know in the comments not only the answer to the trivia question about what Northwest was called prior to the merger with Republic, but what your favorite Northwest livery is. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. You could like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.